So we're gonna go upside down. Let's use our good sand for facing here. I'm gonna do a better job on these and fix the mistakes that I know I did last time. Get a nice coat of sifted facing sand on the whole thing. It's gonna give us the best surface finish and prevent cracking and sand from moving. So we're gonna go way overboard with the sifted sand since these are so tall, and we still might have to do some more after we tuck these guys in. So let's look at this. So now we have a nice cover, and I want to tuck these in to get the surface texture on these without moving them too much. So we're just locking in the surface texture right now at a higher resolution than we would normally get. And then let's put in our other backing sand. It happens to be all sifted right now. With any luck, this will be the last mold I do with sand that has not been mulled. I don't think this is gonna work. The sand is not gonna work. It's just gonna fall out. Yep, never mind. Start over. So let's try this again. I think I'm gonna try molding just this one since we have a shortage of sand here. So I'm going to try filling in part of our flask here because we're literally out of functional sand. Let's see if we can make this work. Some good facing sand, and I'm gonna have to put a ton in this because we have a tall part that we need to cut down into the surface to get the parting line this time. So we're gonna really go overboard here and just do the whole thing. And then I'm gonna try to tuck this guy in a little bit to lock in our texture on the surface of the pattern, on this side anyway, the bottom. And then let's fill it in with some more backing sand here. This is really unusual and I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but it's our only option for today. So it'll be a good trick to know if it does work. Kind of one of those tools that you stick in your mental toolbox for emergencies. This. This sand is almost too sticky. The other stuff is not sticky enough. Screed this guy off. So that might actually work. And then with something like this, it's an organic thing. We're not modeling this ourselves. It's kind of an experimental test here. So you have to cut down to your parting line that you want to use. In this case, we're just finding the highest point around the convex shape of the pumpkin here. So try not to go too far, kind of work our way up to it. I'm going to try to lower this angle here so we don't have such a drastic taper. I think that is going to cause cracks and failure on a part this thick. You get a lot of hydraulic pressure in there that can be quite amazing sometimes. Sometimes it's easier to push your parting line into place than cut it, and that'll give you a little bit more firmness in your sand too. Okay. Get everything packed down so it's tight, and then we can probably tip this and get the loose sand off. Help it out with a little brush. Nice and clean. This side is way easier because it's just about getting the pattern covered nicely and filled in. And then let's tuck it in again, lock in our texture here, surface detail. We can go back with our facing. With some bad old sand. You can tell it's not even packing in, it's just kind of sliding around. It's definitely too burned. This is really bad, but it might work. It's a good experiment for learning how bad your sand can be before it actually is unusable. It may be just kind of annoying right now, but it might still work. So it does pack, it just doesn't get tight on the surface. Get rid of all of that. Okay. So we have a little bit of chipping on our parting line, which is not too big of a deal. That'll have to be ground off. We can go ahead and cut our sprue in here. That's the bottom. Give us a nice round shape here. We'll keep the sand from breaking off. Okay. Little chipping there that was me moving it when I took it out. Sometimes we can pack it back on. Sometimes it will just come off in the mold when you pour, but I think that will be okay. Get all the little pieces out. Whatever's going to fall off with the air is going to fall off in the pouring. So we might as well get it out now. So let's clean this guy out. We're really close to the part here, so I'm going to have to do a basin that's kind of out of the way so I don't cut too close to the pattern right below us here. Go a little deeper than usual because I tend to do it shallow. Pack this down pretty good so we don't have loose sand. Put this guy back together. Very unconventional and very delicate, but might work. See what we get here. Yeah, basin's too shallow. Okay, that is it. Okay, well, it's still blazing hot. This is the most combobulated, cobbled together mold I've ever done, but it seems like it went pretty good, so we might have a good part out of this. Ooh. Doesn't look half bad. Okay. Got some sanding to do on the parting line, which I knew was going to happen, but it looks like I packed the sand better this time and we got our good alignment, so see if I can do this And this is a little hard doing it hot. And I don't like to dip my castings in water like you see people do because it just makes it harder for machining. There's really no point in doing that unless you actually want to make your parts hard. I don't know why people do that. I think it's just impatience, but normally you would just leave it overnight to cool, pull it out in the morning, and you'd be good to go to do whatever finishing you needed to do. Decent finish for my poorly processed sand. That's promising. That's nice. This makes me want to experiment in brass. I was thinking that these little pumpkins in brass with a nice patina on it would be really cute. And really the next level would be to do some hollow ones. That's my next challenge after this. But there we go. Look at that. Pretty cute little aluminum pumpkins.